the president's address to the nation. We get with when at the studio Sidi at Tunis, when at the National Publicity Secretary for the main opposition All People's Congress, and we also get Solomon Jamiru when at the press secretary in our State House. Gentlemen, good morning, and thank you for joining me.
Good morning.
Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you very much.
Tunis, we will start with you. So we followed through from the concerns where APC raised with the ECSL on abstinence, boycotting governance, to the dialogue to now. But most significantly, yesterday, we not see APC MPs in our parliament. So it brings us to where are we right now with the main opposition our country in their participation even after the dialogue?
Thank you very much. You know, the dialogue end and an agreement emanates from the dialogue. We clearly don't give specific responsibilities to the parties for implement. But rightly so, we be need for a read from the president because as head of the country and leader of the nation, we be need for know what in and the government feel about the outcome of the, agreement, and then we all go see how we go play we own part.
So now because not be the destination, it's make the APC MPs no go.
Certainly, because first of all, we be one for know waiting at the government the commitment, and which is why it was important for Law hearing from the president. And now that we don't hear from him, from the speech we gave yesterday, which we appreciate because of the level of commitment and importance we don't give to the outcome of the dialogue, you go also officially hear from we own leader.
But why on a need for wait on president in address way? Pan the dialogue itself, the chief minister no go there as an individual. The chief minister was sent there as a representative of the government, where that in itself suggests say it's authorized by the president and there's commitment.
The first item when a resolution at the agreement now for the president for address the nation on peace, unity, and national cohesion. That are the first resolution that the way they make, right? And then thereafter, every other thing follow. And so we be need for wait for that part for be done for let any other thing happen regarding this agreement.
As the National Publicity Secretary of the APC, what's now your perspective on the results of this dialogue?
I'm just an individual, but what I can say is that in the first place, the two leaders, the president and Dr. Samara Kamara, they meet and agree say this dialogue for happen. And Dr. Samara Kamara immediately informed the party of that meeting day, and the party therefore informed all the structures then. So then when we go into that dialogue day, then go with the blessing of the party at every level. It is a dialogue. You may not have had 100% of what you've been the wish for, but I will say the outcome is accepted by the party, and we fully committed for implement the agreement we emanate from that dialogue day. That a commitment we would make as a party. And I sure say when we go hear from Dr. Samara Kamara, hopefully later, we all going to say the party fully committed for implement the agreement as we come on at the dialogue.
For somebody who probably not get a chance for read through the resolution and some of the preambles, then what's not some of the specific things that we want to discuss? I mean, as a party during the dialogue, and at the end of it, were there any form of compromises from the ruling party?
Certainly. Before we go into the dialogue, we've been get with position paper we will develop, where we present to the Peace Commission and for the attention of the mediators. I should say the government said they said they get their own position paper where they self-develop. And during the dialogue, the parties began for discuss them position and the APC mediators then began their own strong views that way then behold, same way so with the government. And in the end, then get for go back and forth, discussing the issues, then they will emanate from release of disaggregated data to politically motivated cases, people will then kill, how you get for address the issues and bring them perpetrators, then they to book, people will then burn them property then, and so on and so forth. At the end of the day, some of them they're able to address now the dialogue and we result to the agreement. Some of them they will then differ because of legal implications and other things the way they go on. We then feel say they're not able to discuss now the dialogue until they conclude the issues which surround them particular things. Then they will take actions.
The parties satisfied with the outcome of the dialogue?
Well, I mean, in the interest of the country, this is acceptable, and this is not something where we feel say, if fully implemented, it will able to bring this nation together and go address the key issues that we behold strong views of. It will address issues around credibility on the elections, how will they do the tallying, the collation, even announcement of results. It will also address how we institutions then, where we call elections management bodies, go function, and even how we behave to ourselves as citizens. It will address the issues then. So on a whole, we are satisfied and we are fully committed to implementing it.
So Tunis, before we go to Jamil, in all of the dialogue and the resolutions where we see, what do you think are the take-home for the citizens?
The take-home for the citizens now the review committee, where we get for set up for look at the entire elections processes and also look at the functionality of we elections management bodies. We always don't see a lot of tension when it comes to elections business. And we always don't see also how we find it difficult for accept elections results when they don't announce. But more particularly, we see plenty things happen this past election where been unprecedented, where we feel say, plenty citizens they're not happy about. And for let we get an opportunity, for let we all sit down and holistically look at every aspect of the elections process, and from the laws to the processes to logistics to even the functionality of the ECSL itself in terms of staffing and all them things, and for let we sit down and look at them things, then with a view of once and for all addressing this issue. So at the end of the day, when they say election, it will be peaceful, it will be free, it will be fair, it will be credible, and the outcome will be accepted by everybody at the end of the day. For me, that's a huge take-home.
So when they also, as part of the resolution, when I expected for present a list to the government for people where I think say the cases are politically motivated. But is it not selfish on our part as main opposition that all the things where they on the resolution where na benefits to the APC also seem forget absolutely nothing for do with people that were killed during such activities, where again it comes back to both the APC and the SLPP taking responsibility for? Okay,
so I explained earlier, say certain things then they will discuss where then differ. Okay, so let's come to the killing of people. This now be one of the topical issue where the mediators then spend plenty temper. But the government imposition was we not go come and discuss compensation around would I die or how they die, because we not concluded how they die and would I responsible. We need for first of all conclude the investigation, for bring to book and for identify who are then responsible, and then thereafter when we don't know the actual facts around in how people die, then we can begin for talk about, you know, what we go do towards them families we don't let. The same way so with properties we born. Where them born clearly, them born people and property, then destroy people and property. The government SFPP claims
it's not a one-way traffic.
Exactly.
There are also APC perpetrated sort of violence. I want to put that on the table.
They can't so now. So the government themselves can say, where we serve them born with property there. We serve the harm people and we serve people and we don't left this country for many years because they feel say they're not secure, they're not safe. So on both sides, they say, okay, well, let everybody come with their own list. So at the end of the day, the authorities then go sit down, they look at the list, then they address, then look at it by case basis. So even where it is in the agreement, we still get a lot for do because we get for sit down, would they ever get for be responsible for that? Look at their situation and the case by case basis for even determine, you know, at the end of the day, what you define as politically motivated case, what you define as, you know, how they burn your property, what are the situation, the circumstances will lead to all of them things then they get for be worked out. So whereas the agreement has been finalized, not to just one way, it addresses concerns raised by both parties and compromises reached, you know, addressing issues raised by both parties.
Speaking of compromises, Solomon Jamiu, will bring you in on this. So, pan the UN General Assembly, President Biyo in one of the interviews mentioned how he feels like he's being sort of influenced or forced for infringe on the independence of the electoral body of Sierra Leone. But here we are, there's a dialogue we don't done, and we've seen some of the resolutions. What's in at the level of compromises being made by the government in efforts for facilitate the peace process?
And a tough question. First of all, I just say government be don't pledge sincerity to this whole process, and for me could be open. And like the president saying in address, the two parties sit down and talk as Sierra Leoneans from the heart, which for me very good. Where they show say anytime we get a platform like this, and especially when it's under the auspices of the Independent Commission for Peace and National Cohesion, one, important for me to build with systems, but also important for me to speak as Sierra Leoneans. In terms of compromise, I think my brother Sidi don't put them, and rightly so. The way the agreement is framed, both sides get shared responsibility, and the agreement itself not conclusive on everything, but it provides a foundation, like what President Biyo say, both sides go engage within and beyond the framework of this agreement. It just like, for example, when they say the special court was set up for trial war crimes, crimes against humanity. So even when the special courts they don't indict, they don't read out sentences, but you go see here, they say the residual special court. Which means say you still get some issues which might be outstanding, so there is a residual special court for handle dandy. So like what Sidi say, and I agree with him, and President Biyo rightly put them, both sides will continue for engage. Now that make, even now as we talk about this agreement, and it's an advised position. We will not go too much into the details of implementation, because like where the leadership don't begin it, a lot therefore be born out of consultation. Sidi talk this now about what you might wish to call politically motivated cases. Government would say, well, we not think say we get politically motivated cases. Anything that is in court would be in court because a cause of action has accrued. So like what Sidi say, he's right. It's now a question of how do you define what's politically motivated? Who are affected that you think would be in court or would be incarcerated as a result of political persuasion?
That in itself
so a lot really get for, this just lay the foundation, but a lot will go see, it will get flesh and meaning in the coming days and weeks,
and
but both sides are committed
we actually want to read into it. So from President in speech yesterday, he say the provisions in this mediated dialogue agreement will receive the highest consideration from my government. The government will work with the main opposition party and all other political parties to ensure that it is fully implemented while at the same time respecting and upholding the rule of law, which is vital to our young democracy. So yesterday we talked to Melvin, and the concerns are, some of them things then they for upholding. Well, it's not just the Melvin. From Monday we had a conversation with Rashid, and they say some of the wordings in the resolution sort of like indict both the government and the judiciary for confirm, say, oh, okay, so there were politically motivated cases. Contrary to statements where President Bidon makes, say, the government not hold any political prisoners. And the concern also with Melvin yesterday was, how would the government go about implementing some of these resolutions without infringing on the rule of law? And presidents don't clearly say they will be implemented, but at the same time respecting and upholding the rule of law. It's a very dicey situation. How governments they manage this? Implementing this at the same time not being seen as a government led by President Bio, where they twist and turn the law, infringe on them just when it's convenient for political gains.
So I would say, without prejudice really to the provisions or the wording of the agreement, and me not really want for going to the wording now, I think all we can do is to respect the agreement, because once both sides don't sign up to the agreement, collectively we don't own them. So maybe the TEOFO don't discuss text. Now, if maybe there was a draft, we all can talk. But now that it's been signed, collectively we all own it. And even as part of government, we own it, because it was signed also on behalf of government. So
government is shooting itself in the leg for, say, we not get political prisoners. Now you're saying we address politically motivated cases.
So not at all. So me think, say, and again President Bio talk about the first thing that we're able to get both leaderships for Sidom and talk. And I will tell you, there is even hard feelings on both camps. You go still get some segments of people, even on government, we go down say, President Bio, you know, for even do them. You will even have some people on the part of APC, we go say, na sell out. So you get people and we get them position. But this is where the leadership comes in. The fact that the leadership on the part of the All People's Congress and also the leadership on the part of government, we say, you know what, even when you go in a court, like a fast-track commercial court, you don't go say sometimes somebody don't breach your contract, you want for let the court enforce the contract or let the person pay you damages. So until at the end of the day, the judge will say, okay, I give you 2 weeks or a month. Una go and see if una can get alternative disputes. Una agree. And even what you una agree, a possible say the consent judgment una they agree on is fundamentally different from even the prayers will be there na your writ of summons. So it is like both sides go to this place, not for say, let everybody go win. It is just submitting yourself to what is in the national interest.
But what's in President
so I agree with you.
Say will be implemented, but also in accordance with the rule of law.
So now did the consultation get for coming? Both government, but also the All People's Congress, committed to due process. Lo not forget Andy. APC is committed to institutionalizing justice. SLPP-led government is also committed to it. But now both sides don't agree, say, if there are politically motivated cases, they will look at it. On the part of government, we say we not think say there is a politically motivated case. But now that it is an agreement, we have to collectively own it. But now it's a question of how do we implement it. APC would say, okay, we have a list of people where we think say we're concerned about, where we think say really, legitimately, they're not supposed for dinner court. Then it's now both sides sitting down to look at, even amphibian, and you know, correctional center. You go see something and a judge, they go into a particular correctional center and do what they call case review. So until at the end of the day, go talk, say, but this particular person done there 2 years, and not be supposed to do it 2 years. So this is something that happens even outside the framework of Utudo. It happens in any judicial system, you know. So I think it's a question of let allow time in the coming days, in the coming weeks. And nothing say even APC would want to do something that jeopardizes the law. And I think that is the intention of APC. And that is not the intention of government. So both the APC and government, beyond this, continue to be moral guarantors of peace, justice, and democracy. And I think both sides committed for give meaning to this agreement, but also do them in a way where it not end up for also shoot the legs of both parties.
And now, Jamiu, in all of this, how does the government, view the process made from this, the progress made from this dialogue?
Well, I think we get important takeaways from this. One are the fact that we're able for SIDOM as Sierra Leoneans, and we're able to forget, we get external facilitators we come, ECOWAS, AU, Commonwealth. But the fact is, all of what happens so, it happened under the auspices of a commission created by the government and the people of Sierra Leone. Where they tell we say, when we create institutions and we support the institutions for work and independent, then we produce great results for we. And now, for example, where Salonde na the non-permanent category of the UN Security Council, people are asking all over the world, what are some of the things where Sierra Leone want for showcase in terms of peace, in terms of justice, in terms of democracy? This might just be one of the finest examples. President Bio already don't begin engage in the sub-region. He has traveled to Mali, for example. He don't travel to Guinea, especially on the question of the Sahel. What do we go do for make sure say we put an end to terrorism? What do we go do for make sure say we address the threat to constitutionalism? What do we go do for bring other parties, states on board, say dialogue is the best way to go? With this one, we don't do so between APC and government. I will tell you, it's one remarkable selling point for Sierra Leone. And I was just on the phone with somebody from the Gambia who is already commending us and say, we just hope this is something that will be popularized in Africa. So really for us as government, and I believe on APC as well, this is not just one thing we show who we are as a people. And when we dialogue, we really have nothing to lose.
Was this an issue wherein we need international bodies, you know, to actually minimize or solve the problem between the government and that of the APC?
Maybe we not be need them, but we also therefore accept, honestly, in every facet of governance these days, international community is involved. Even on the elections, whether it's EU or other person, even though government funded literally everything about this election, but you still get development partners like EU, we go support you in capacity building. Development partners, they give you money. You know, when we do budget every year, we know they generate all the money from here. Whether it's IMF, it's World Bank, it's EU, then they fund with projects. So they are involved literally in everything. So if you have somebody from outside we come, and then people that we come really, I go say by extension, they are part of government, because Sierra Leone is part of the AU, Sierra Leone is part of ECOWAS, Sierra Leone is part of the Commonwealth. They are not strangers. Maybe we had time to do it within and between ourselves without the need for outsiders. But Sierra Leone is part of this global system, and ECOWAS, AU, and Commonwealth, really they are part of Sierra Leone. So it's just one family.
And let me talk about, you know, the expectations and hope for continued dialogue and cooperation between the government and that of the APC.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're looking forward to this, and President Bio don't talk and say, over and beyond elections, what's really important now, what do we go do for create jobs for we youth, put food on the table, empower we women, invest in human capital. Salon done in a UN Security Council now, the world they look at Salon. So President Bio believes say, beyond this, there are other critical issues we're able to come together and discuss on. And that's now our expectation. And I believe we'll also get good faith on the part of the APC for continue this beyond the framework of the inter-party dialogue.
Tunis, earlier on I asked about if the APC party is satisfied with the outcome of the dialogue. The reason why I've been asked that question is because I know for a fact the ECSL obviously fall under the government, but was this an issue between the APC and the government, or that's of the APC and the ECSL?
Well, most of the issues we've been getting now with the conduct of the elections and at ECSL, but the fact of the matter is, you know, ECSL make the pronouncement and we have a president, we don't form a government. So if any of such care for happen, it has to be a dialogue between the government and the opposition. And that clearly happened in IASO. So, you know, whereas ECSL, then we began most of the issues with, but, you know, they were not party to the dialogue directly. And which is why, if you look at the agreement, most of the preambles be addressed that with concerns, you know, but then also the preambles dive into the legal issues around some of the issues that we raise. You know, so that not been the case. In any case, you may not have 100% get what we want, but like I said earlier, we go a whole lot for address the major concerns that we will get as a political party, you know, in the interest of the people of this country. And we feel, say, this agreement will come out. If we implement it well, you know, it will go a long way for help this nation for really, you know, correct issues around the functionality of our elections management bodies and even institutions that, you know, in this country. I just want for also say something we, you know, come up in terms of the mediators. We not be for don't need that, but we all get for be honest and sincere, say the trust level between the government and the opposition be very low and not be even exist. And even with we people, I go tell you, say, even with the mediators, if they follow the social media accusations, counter accusations, would I don't sell out, would I don't do this, you know, so if the mediators not be there, the outside mediators, if you go imagine waiting will be the thinking of the people. Sometimes we will find it difficult for let we even buy into the agreement. So it was necessary. Maybe in the future, we're not going to need that. I hope that this agreement go create that kind of atmosphere where we go trust for deal with ourselves, where we go be open for discourse frankly with ourselves, and where we don't agree, say we go do certain things, we go do not thinking about party colors, but thinking about the green, white, and blue. We go serve the interest of Sierra Leone.
Another important thing we plenty Sierra Leoneans then being frown at now the fact that say, okay, we know say yes, just yesterday the president, you know, don't put out a speech to address the nation. But one part of the thing the concerns and we, you know, Sierra Leoneans saying is now the fact say, okay, when they call for this dialogue, we see the sides of the APC, you know, and then presidential candidates being there. But, you know, from the government side, we not see the president, we not see the vice president. How una been feel or how una been take that particular situation there as a party?
Well, I mean, we for don't hope forget the president and the vice president day, definitely. But you have to also understand, we don't serve na governance. You know, I know they make any excuse for them. I feel say they for don't do the opening ceremony. But then get them from the onset, Peace Commission run them in a way where they ask each party for present their own list of 9 people. And the list for also clearly show other than the lead. So even before the dialogue starts, we don't get an idea of who that get for lead the government on your side, because they don't communicate that. And we said we don't communicate who that get for lead we on side and who that then go make up of the 9 people. And so then communications then they don't happen. We don't need parties for a while. And you have to also understand scheduling issues when you are in president or this. So like I say, I'm not going to make excuse for them. If we don't throw more weight, especially for the opening ceremony, if we've been there, get either one of them around. But in any case, we don't go through this. They had their representative, they had their lead person, when are the chief minister, and we said, we own lead person, we own presidential candidate, decide say that he go lead because it places a lot of value on this particular dialogue. And with team going, they did what they had to do, and we came out with the agreement, which we believe say will serve the interests of the people of Sierra Leone.
After the elections, the genesis of this whole thing was on our issues with the CSL, questioning the results where CSL announced. On our refuse for go court. Una choose for abstain. But in all of this, una don't complain, but there's still no evidence of una own accusations and allegations against the CSL. Was the APC just trying to be difficult or make excuses for losing an election?
No. I mean, if you are at the dialogue, the APC present the result. Clearly, we present them to the mediators. They saw them, they saw the result based on the RRFs. But we therefore also be mindful The laws of Sierra Leone very clear.
And so I think that I want to present some solid evidence for substantiate some allegations against the ECSL.
It is.
So why then again when I not been taken go court if it's such a valid and strong evidence?
This is where I'm coming. You know, the laws of Sierra Leone very clear. If you read sections 92, 93, and 94 of the Public Elections Act, they show clearly how results management for happen at every level. And each one of them emphasize that the ECSL for announce and publish elections result as soon as possible. A deliberate will then put as soon as possible. Because if you read section 54 of the Constitution, it's very clear also that me and you get just 1 week. 1 week after the ECSL Boston announced the result, for let we challenge the presidential result in a court if we're not satisfied. So, a lawyer, if you get for go to court, whereas you will get your own, when you feel say, na your own, you get for get something where you go challenge. Waiting will be for don't get for go challenge. Now the ECSL no result.
So, let me get this clear. So is it that APC being one go court?
Yes. But we have to have waiting for go court for. Waiting make you feel say will be the emphasized on the publication of the disaggregated result. Because not only we be need for
but the thought is that court. Going to court, if it be not reach na court, obviously the judicial system go compel the ECSL for let themselves can provide their own evidence for sure say una own claim against them as then they say no factual.
It's citizen in a court. That ain't not happen it. We get 1 week. Not forget that. 1 week. That is one. And secondly...
But taking a matter to court means, yes, it's 1 week. But there is still time for both parties for go put together the evidence and put the case together.
Yeah, but then for let you go even challenge. You know why they throw Dr. Samara Kamara then case out of court in 2018? Now for the same reason. Then go challenge the result, the presidential result, 2018 na court. But because they not been get the ECSL result, the court throw the case out. So we not want to fall in that same situation. But waiting more important now for we is we don't reach side where we feel say we go even address a bigger problem for we. It was not just so much about overturning the result, but now we have an opportunity to look at the election system holistically with the setting up of this review committee.
Now so that you say this now,
we go court,
now that you say this, it begs other questions like, are you really being sincere and honest with the people of Salonwe? Since that conversation came up, not once the APC come to the public and communicate. They say, oh, we want to go court. Not to say now the justice system will not, because initially what you guys were portraying to the public was, okay, we'll not trust the justice system. So it's coming now as a surprise to many people when they hear this for the first time. Say, oh, now be one gonna because of XYZ challenges.
No, I'm not feeling that the first time these people don't hear that, because I'm pretty sure on VOA, on this same AYV, on 98.1, even before the dialogue, I stated this position clearly. I don't state and I are clearly back on this AYV severally that whereas we've been get to reservation about the court system, I even make the statement say, whereas we've been get with reservation with the court system for this particular case, I don't go blame the judiciary.
So this has nothing to do. This has nothing to do with the credibility of the judiciary.
To a large extent, no. But because you don't forget waiting for.
But we don't put the judiciary in a situation where they were dragged. Like it's about their independence. It's about their credibility.
Not a one case we don't get with the judiciary. There are so many we get for do with credibility issues around the judiciary. That's we not go take that off the table. And those are the many challenges we they face. It is not only just the judiciary. Most of the institutions there. We can never take that off the table. But for this particular election result, we will not go court. It was more than just that. We will not be get the ECSL the result which we needed for let we go challenge. That is just fact. For let you go challenge, you get for able to prove say this now you go challenge and on and
it's
so
still
on and so forth.
Confusing. We'll move away from this in a bit, but it's still confusing where they say we not get the result, because in as much as we not get hard or soft copy of the result, but we also get another part of ECSL the results because again they announce results. And Una challenge said the results where they announced not reflective of what in Una get. So whether ECSL release data or not, ECSL already don't announce to the public say according to what you get now Mr. A na the winner of this, Miss A na the winner of this. So that in itself is one result that can be taken to court.
That result the way they announce you get her. You don't get her.
But ECSL announced to the public that the videos are there where they announce results. So what are we talking about?
But the law say where they announce them for publisher, whatever they announce. How you go access her?
But see, it comes back to you. They say Unanobin gets that for present to the court. But I'm saying the announcement self where they make is something you could have also taken to the court.
No, they sit down, they read something at TV. After that, that's it. How you go access what they read? So
what they read not quantify as evidence on go present to the court? Is that what you're saying?
How you go with an accord?
But it comes back the video self when they announce results. That is not something. That is not result.
No.
So if that's not a result, how we can now as a country and the world will acknowledge say President Bio is the winner of the elections? If ECSL not be announced that result,
announce result then declare the president winner. When you go to court, that is not how it is done, my dear. You get for go present. That is not how it is done. We get a lawyer with we. That is not how it is done. You get for able for proof to the court say now this they announce. Look at you know if I go to the court say Phoebe and be wearing one black dress one or like, and then the court say where the dress. I get for say okay be doing another TV announcement.
You can take the video. You can't
go. The court go just say no, bro. You're not serious.
Evidence comes in various forms, Sidi at Tunis.
Well, in the court of law, it is different. You have to scientifically prove when it comes to elections.
The courts they even use video, audio as evidence.
You therefore scientifically prove. Say what you don't take before the court about elections.
I think we will move away from the science of the evidence as you don't put and say so science.
Let me come to the issue of wherein the president in his statement yesterday, number 5, it speaks to people putting away the differences, you know, and moving forward in the interest of the country. Is it a situation wherein we see mayors, chairperson, councillors, and members of parliament, you know, partake in this current governance system?
Yes, certainly. I mean, the agreement calls for that. And if we all don't commit to the full implementation of the agreement, you go expect for see we elected officials that begin for take their seats and participate in governance, you know, moving forward. But it get for go beyond that. So many things then they will get for happy. Look, it is all about how we do things going forward as a nation. In the last government, for example, the last 5 years, we see a situation also which has been very difficult for opposition elected officials, then, whether they're MPs or councillors. We see repeatedly how policemen were, you know, taken to the well of parliament, beat MPs. We know they wish for see them kind of things than they these 5 years. Let the parliamentarians be allowed for do their job. Let them argue things out. I go like for see also. You see, it is good. Let we begin to get different mindsets. Maybe, like I said, this will create the opportunity for we as a nation. I go like for see a situation wherein APC MP and SLPP MP go jointly do law for address particular issue we border on the progress of the country. For example, we get issues with drug abuse in the country where most of we young people and you know affected. I go like for see APC MP, SLPP MP sit down and make laws we go address issue like that. Rather than if APC MP care that particular logo because this na SLPP will criticize and vice versa. That is not a good way for law to operate as a nation. And I really hope say it will change. I always don't make reference say in my quiet moment, I can always feel so disappointed and so sad whenever any of the presidents, whether na APC or SLPP, go by international conference like the UN, for example, you will get one sector they demonstrate for, and the other sector they demonstrate against. These are Sierra Leoneans. And it is all based on colors. I pray for see that day where any of the president, regardless of which political party, go for address UN, we will get all Sierra Leoneans jointly, they protest for praiser, or because they do good, or jointly they protest for Basham because they do bad. That is what me they look forward for see. And then kind of engagement they are so. Now then we supposed to begin to get openly and frankly, because we sit down, look at us. You know, outside of here, we get frank conversations. Camaraderie. If we not change them also on the political landscape, it will continue to affect we for generations. And now we get for feel. Now we go feel them. It has been problem after problem after problem for we. We not get. We then go sit down all the time. They explain about how the 60s been like enough water, enough light. But we generation, if it is not war, now coup, shortage of water supply, shortage of this, shortage.
Well, both the APC and the SLPP not seem for the people of Sierra Leone for fixing it. Being that aside from intervention, now the only two political parties the citizens of Sierra Leone don't trust with the responsibility of governance.
Trust me,
here we are 60-something years, we are also still not able to deliver such services to the people.
The problem in this country goes beyond politics, Phoebe. Until we begin for change, we own mindsets, we all. It goes beyond just political parties. But somebody go buy something where one councillor increase the price 4-5 times. Waiting only get for do with political party. So it's a whole perennial problem, and all because of the mindset. But we get for fix them. And not supposed to get for can't fix them for we. Now we set for fix them, and it begins with us changing our mindset, how we do things, how we do our politics, how we live our lives.
In the area of fixing, let me just use this opportunity and ask, this question. I'm sure that before the dialogue and right after the dialogue, APC as a party don't meet, and don't discuss about a couple of things. We and Fambulang want to know what's the stance of the APC, and same way so una been put out something say una not go participate or partake in governance, and during that process we still say two of una party members then been going to parliament and swearing in and all of that. What's the stance of Mohamed Bangura currently in the APC party?
You see, every Sierra Leonean in this country bound by the provisions of the Constitution of Sierra Leone. The same way, so any political party member, you're bound by the provisions of the Constitution of your party. So if your party don't say you know for do certain things and you do, there are disciplinary measures we defined in the Constitution the party will take. As it is now, the disciplinary committee, the disciplinary and grievance handling committee beyond the meet on Honorable Mohamed Bangura and Honorable Thompson and Maada, and then will continue for advise the party based on their findings. It's still very early, but one of their recommendations will be done for let them suspend the 2 MPs, which has been done by the leadership of the party.
So Una they can go parliament now, right? After President address to the nation yesterday.
Yes.
Okay. So when the rest of the APC MPs go parliament, what becomes the fate of Honorable Mohamed Bangura, especially that he serves right now as the minority leader?
Well, that will depend on the conclusion of the disciplinary committee, the issue. As it is, they are still members of the APC, and they are still elected members of parliament under the APC ticket. That may not change.
But again, Mohamed Bangura not today, just as Mohamed Bangura, Honorable Mohamed Bangura, he's there as a representative from the APC.
That's what I just said. They are still elected members of parliament under the APC ticket. That has not changed. Until and unless the disciplinary committee conclude certain side way go reach, then the party go decide what else for do.
But I intend for replace the minority leader in parliament, so they go?
That's a parliamentary issue. It is clearly up to them. you know, when they go parliament, among them then go sit down, and then they go do the necessary.
But obviously, when our MPs will go parliament, it's not a decision where then they go take as individuals. It's with consultation from the party. Now the party go advise who they want as minority leader.
It is with consultation of the party. But
so that's what I'm asking with the party.
It is highly possible.
What's in Honorable Mohamed Bangui chances of continuing as minority leader?
First of all, Mohamed not go under the elected member of the APC, but as it is now, he's not there with the blessing of the party. So of course, you know.
Yeah, and because Naina been the only opposition, main opposition member, they make it by default become minority leader.
And that is why I'm glad there is an adjective before that, minority leader, which is acting. So he's acting. You know, whether he will continue to act, I don't feel say that will happen. And I sure say incessant no that one.
Just no, come back to you, Jamil, quickly. So President yesterday also say reviewing our election systems is critical to strengthening our democracy. It is in that spirit I proposed the establishment of a national election system review as a first step to improve the electioneering process in Sierra Leone. I therefore take good note of the proposed tripartite leadership to lead the review. The question now is, what becomes of that committee already established, headed by the Vice President?
Well, I'm not going one for preemptum. I think say the committee go be, as President will clearly say, and in the wisdom of the mediated dialogue, na a tripartite arrangement. So I don't want to speak to what will be eventually the ultimate composition or what becomes of what, but me no say the pronouncement of His Excellency the President go be noted with profound respect. Even on the part of the All People's Congress and also the development partners. And I believe say the President in word, not the Fordona grown. But at the same time, the President, as rightly say, it don't well receive, this will don't come from the mediation, and I'm not going for preempt, ultimately, what will be the final composition.
Okay, let me just take some few messages from the Facebook page, and I'll take this one from Mohammed Chernoba. He says, for me, the APC did well. I was first not convinced with their decision to boycott and not going to court, but it's now that I appreciate the decision and hence think it is logical in all senses.
Mohammed will just say, Sidi, if you're claiming that the result was not given, what about your polling agents, the results they gave you? And then why didn't you go to the ECSL's website?
And Des Egerton says that the ECSL gives all the political parties taking part the results. The answer is no.
Jesus E. Bobo says, in all of these, let us maintain and uphold our laws and also have trust in our institutions. If we don't trust ECSL, the police, the judiciary, then why are they existing?
And Mosdi says, Salon will only be fixed when we get rid of both Alusain and Alassane.
Lena, please continue.
Michael Coker says, bravo Fabian for challenging Sidi's gaslighting.
I think because of time, we'll just limit the messages so that as we get on our phone.
And there was this sort of confusion based on what we were saying earlier on with regards to the color of the flag. But anyways, those are some of the messages that we will be able to take. And lastly, Austrian Kamara says, electoral dispute evidence is a real continuous thing when it's related to the jurisdiction of our legislative rule book. The adjudication process is a bottleneck for the triangulate committee to handle within the 6-month window. Like I said, those are the messages.
Sorry, I'll just chip in two last. Ahmed Tijan says, the results were announced and published. I still have the results in my phone. And Des Egerton say, did he, ECSL, invite all political parties when they are calling the results? The answer is no. Those
Democracy,
are the
transparency, accountability, betrayed, and that's from Des Egerton as well, Fabian.
So we go get to response to news and then we come to Jamil.
I mean, the fact of the matter is, elections process in this country, we all see the challenges. And let people understand, say, when it comes to requests for elections result, not to just APC, elections observers, you know, some of our missions, civil society, and even citizens, don't they ask for that, to a point that we don't get, you know, court matter, or we dare about forget court matter relating to that. So for we, what's important now is we don't see a clear path forward from all of this, and we're in the process of probably, you know, now making sure we address issues around functionality of our institutions and bring credibility around election issues in Salon. I think that is very important for us. We want for now focus on what we can do going forward as far as implementing this agreement. We will serve the interest of the people of Sierra Leone. We've had challenges. You know, we've had challenges repeatedly, and I sure say even the government realize that, and that make the president, where they address parliament, it point them out the need for law to get an elections review committee. We go look at elections process in this country. So it is not just about, you know, making claims, empty claims. These are necessary, factual, and claims that we make, we feel say needed for address the concerns where we get, we will serve the people of this country better and better. Okay,
over to you, Solomon.
Well, I just want to tell we fumble and say we don't we don't get a mediated dialogue and we don't get an outcome. As government, we go to the dialogue with good faith, maintaining a position, say the president has been duly elected. APC go to the dialogue with elections concerns. But at the end of the day, both sides don't agree for compromise within the parameters of the provisions in the agreement. So I think what's important now, both on the part of government as well as on the opposition, and also calling on other political parties for me to all come together now, put this behind we, and focus on the key priorities of government to go provide jobs, put food on the table, peace, security, forget hate speech. And this is a call to all Sierra Leoneans. And I just want to tell with family and say government fully committed to the implementation of the provisions in consultation and in collaboration with the main opposition.
All right, plenty thank you to our studio guest Solomon Jamiru, Press Secretary, State House, and Sidi, Tunis National Publicity Secretary from the All People's Congress Party. They also for look at President Julius Maada Bioyin address to the nation on the outcome of the national peace dialogue and process